What's up, everybody? I'm ZWade, the ZWade and ZWade Photo. Again, looking a little bit trashy because it was a long day at work and I just want to be comfortable right now. Over the last 5 days, I have shot the crud out of the Nikkor Z 85mm f1.8s. Unfortunately, I do not have it in my hand because I shot it up until the last minute before I had to package it up and send it back to Borrow Lenses, of which I'm not sponsored by, but I will say I do like their service. So before I get into this any further, I want to invite you to zwadephoto.com. Let's roll the promo. There you can check out my personal art portfolio, 4 different categories containing my favorite images of those categories. If you want to help support the channel, you can swing by the print shop and pick you up a print. I have several end rolls ready to go right now. You could swing by the ZWade Photo merch shop and pick yourself up a Do It Right, Do It Raw coffee mug. We also have the ZWade Photo t-shirt available in 2 colors, and guys, the material is soft, as are the hoodies. The material is so soft. These are available in 3 colors, navy blue, black, and if white clothing is your thing, we've got it in white. Last but not least, my favorite, the embroidered ZWade Photo hat, available in 2 colors. If you'd like to help support this channel, swing by zwadephoto.com. So I'll start off by saying that I did have an opinion formulated before I rented this, looking at other people's stuff, which is kind of a mixed bag if you're looking on Flickr, because you really have to look at their settings, and if they don't post them, you just don't really know what they were doing. And sometimes they're shooting at ridiculous, or what I would call ridiculous settings, and so it's not always a good gauge of what a lens can do. But based on general shots that I saw, I expected it to be super sharp, and I expected it to lack in character. A lot of the shots look like it was really lacking in character. Now, after I have shot it, and I shot quite a lot of images with it, I will say that it's not totally lacking in character. It is a great looking 85mm. It is not the kind of character that you would expect out of older Nikon 85mm. Nikon has always made really sharp, really nice 85mm. I did get spoiled on the Zeiss 85mm f1.4 planar because that is just the creme de la creme as far as 85mm lenses go. It is absolutely tack sharp. It is a beautiful 85mm lens. The colors are great on it. We will see images coming up right after this. I'm not going to make you guys wait on this. It will come out literally 1 hour after this video airs, so we have a bit of a double feature. The skin tones are great. They look really, really great. You'll see that I did some studio flash with it, and I was really, really happy with it. It looks really, really good. Skin tones are something that I think typically look great out of all of the Z glass with all the Z cameras and the Nikon files. But in my opinion, the 85 is really, really, really good. The only thing I would say that it does not as good as is maybe the 24-70 2.8. That thing is just kind of uniquely awesome. And then the 50mm f1.2. Something not so positive about it is it's kind of slow. Really slow, as far as like the autofocus goes. That's hasn't been the case with many of the Z lenses, but what I think happened here was, to me, it seems like Nikon took this lens a little too seriously as far as like it being an 85, which is a portrait focal length. Like, it's a very popular one. And so I think they set out not to make an 85mm lens that is good, really good for portraiture inherently, but it's almost like they're like, well, let's just not make it fast because it's going to be used for portraits all the time. That's not the case. They could have made like a fast 85mm. It doesn't have to be for portraits, but it's so slow on the autofocus that, and it hunts a lot worse than any of the other lenses, I think. At least my copy did. This is a rental, so I don't know if somebody's banged it up. It looked like it was in brand new condition, but who knows, you know? I don't know if maybe there's something wrong with it. And so if you've used it, let me know in the comments below if you found it slow and hunty. So especially if you focused on something at like a farther or much shorter distance, and that's where it's focused to right now. And so you throw it up to try to focus. Oh my God, it doesn't want to find it. And so that's kind of annoying. Now, granted, if you're just using it for portraiture, it doesn't need to be fast, but that's why I mentioned that I think Nikon kind of took it a little too literally and said, let's make an 85mm portrait lens, not an 85mm lens. People are going to use it, are going to use 85s for portraits because it's a good portrait focal length, right? You don't get a lot of that goofy, like facial, like wraparound. And I will say it does not focus close at all. And so that is okay for like a portrait lens, but it's not okay for anything else. If you try to take a portrait up really, really close with a lens, it's going to wrap their face around. But if you're at an appropriate distance, you don't get that goofy distortion of somebody's face. And so at the appropriate focusing distance, it's awesome. It's an awesome lens. And as long as you're kind of, you know, in the range as far as being in focus goes, then it's totally fine. But it is quite literally a portrait lens. I can't see myself using it for anything else just because it's too damn slow and the focus distance is too damn far. Manual focusing it was perfectly fine. I didn't see anything that was like noticeably bad or noticeably good. It does exactly like most of the other 30, or it doesn't do like most of the other Z lenses with the exception of the 35, which was extremely responsive on the manual focusing, which I've explained is an electronic signal that's being sent, not a actual physical focusing of the glass elements. Moral of the story, what I learned having rented and shot the crud out of the 85mm f1.8s is I'm not going to get it, but it has made me very excited for the 85mm 1.2. I was going to buy that lens anyway, because I was so impressed with the 50mm f1.2. But if the 85 1.2 is anything like the 50mm 1.2, the 50mm 1.8 was an exceptionally fast lens at a really good price, and it was insanely sharp and it looked really good. And the 50mm f1.2 is just that much better. Like, it's just got that secret sauce to it. And so if it's the same case with the 85s, the 85 1.8 is really sharp, just like the 50. It's kind of slow on the focusing, which is fine. The skin tones look really good. The sharpness is marvelous. If the 85 1.2 is even better than that, I am even more excited for it than I was before. I have to have an 85, right? And the kind of work that I do. Right now, I'm okay with the things that I have. I can wait on the 1.2. But I am extremely excited now because if it has that secret sauce that the 51.2 has, oh man, it's going to be so baller. It is going to be a bomb ass of a lens. And so renting it, I wasn't overly impressed with the 85 1.8. The things I said are valid and the things that are good are really good. But I am spoiled on other 85mm lenses. And so, no, I don't need it. I can totally wait on the 1.2, but I am really, really excited. It is a really good lens. If you don't need a 1.2, if you don't care about that secret sauce, if you don't want to pay $2,000 to $3,000, which the 85 1.2 is definitely going to be, I think you'll be very happy using the 85mm Nikkor Z 1.8S for your portrait work. That's a wrap of this episode of ZWade Photo. Let me know in the comments below. Have you shot the 85 1.8S? Are you thinking about getting it? What are your reservations? If you're not thinking about getting it and you haven't shot it, tell me what your favorite 85mm lens of all time is. I'm ZWade, the ZWade, and ZWade Photo, and I will catch you in the next one.